I'm Richelle. I'm a second-year bachelor's in illustration major, and out of Denver, Colorado. I flew all the way out here for Drawaholics more than a few times because I enjoy the crew, I enjoy the camaraderie. Wiley will be assisting me with you guys. We will be providing live feedback throughout the sessions, walking around, answering questions. And then for those who are online, we have Butters. I can't pronounce your last name. We just call him Butters, and he will be assisting you guys online. And both of them are team leaders as well for the Drawaholics. I just finished my 2500 in May. It was 9 months. It was not easy. But when you talk about the Drawaholics, it was started by Michael Buffington, who is actually in the concept artist in the game development area. He's one of the most fantastic character designers I've ever met, like actually personally met and talked to. He is absolutely phenomenal. In just a couple minutes, he can throw out a full fleshed out costume figure, and it's like, wow, what did you do to get better? Everything he says is practice by repetition. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Everything that he did was life studies, human studies. George Bridgman is a great reference author for doing hands and heads. And he said, I did each of those hands and heads 1,000 times and 1,000 times over until looking at a human and drawing it on paper became habit. It became habit to draw a proportional, a figure that makes sense. And that's what we want, because when we go into the industry, especially for us illustration majors, we're going to be drawing humans all the time. In fact, graphic novels and comics, they draw up to 7 to 10 panels a day. How long does it take us to draw a figure right now? It takes a long time. We can't do 7 to 10 panels a day yet. And so Michael said, I'm seeing a lot of the students struggle with this, and a lot of the students are serious about getting better, but they don't know exactly how. So that's where he started the Drawaholics Anonymous crew. It's for those individuals, not just with game design, not just with illustration, who want to improve their art in general, not just with human anatomy, even the mechanics of drawing, of being able to proportion out all the lines that you see and communicate it on paper, and building a healthy, better drawing habit in life. Because art, unfortunately, as much as we would love to go take a vacation for 2 weeks, it's a habit we have to maintain. We have to maintain our skills regularly. You know, like Melinda said, she hadn't picked up a brush in 30, 40 years. You have to maintain it if you want to not only stay at the level you're at, but if you want to get better. And that's scary when you're alone and you're like, okay, I don't know if I'm getting better. I don't know how to get better. And with the Drawaholics, all of us are serious about growth. All of us are we're focused. We want to improve our skills in whatever it is we're doing, and we're going to do whatever that takes. And some of us get discouraged. Like Butters lost hundreds of sketches from his 2,500. Hundreds. That's not slowing him down. In fact, he said, I'm going to redo them and then some, and he's actually going to restart his entire 2,500 because he's not satisfied with his growth. He's not satisfied with how much he's improved this past year. That is what it means to be a drawaholic, and that is what it means when you want to improve your art. And on those times when you have those rainy days where your sketchbook gets stolen on a bus, or you drop a cup of water on it and you didn't submit the pictures and you lose them, we're all here for you. We back each other up. We are there for support. We are there just if you want to vent and you're like, oh my God, if I have to draw another head, we got you. And then eventually, you don't think about it. Me personally, when I did perspective, we had to do figures in our perspective classes. Didn't matter 1 point, 2 point, we had to put a figure in there. That didn't scare me anymore. This past semester, expressive hands and heads, I passed with an A. And I put in as much effort as I did in the Drawaholics. It did not feel like I was working. It did not feel like I had to take time out to do my class. It was almost easy, and that kind of scared me because I'm like, I want to grow. I want the challenge. You want to be uncomfortable and doing new things because you're stepping outside of your comfort zone. And so I felt a little bit comfortable in that class, and it scared me a little bit. But without the Drawaholics, I would have been struggling too in that class. And it didn't scare me at all to go into nothing but faces. How hard was it to draw faces when we first started? Pretty scary. It was pretty scary. So, with that being said, I'm going to give you guys a brief demonstration on just really how to do a life study. We're not worried about detail. You don't want to spend too much time. We are going to be doing 3, 5, and 10-minute poses. Normally as Drawaholics, every week we do 1, 2, and 3-minute poses. When you figure draw, you want to capture the essence of the figure, you want to capture proper anatomy, but you aren't going to do that unless you study the human body as it is. So, not to scare you, we're going to start off with 3s. Don't worry, darling. We're going to start off with 3s, and then we're going to gradually, and you can actually see after we do the set of 3s, we're going to pause, and you can look back to your first 3-minute one, as opposed to probably what will be the 6th or the 7th one. It is a huge difference when you actually sit down and draw it. And for those who are nervous and still haven't broken out of the, I don't want my drawing to look bad, we want your drawing to look bad. At the Drawaholics, we want that because that is how you learn and grow. You can't learn from a mistake if you do not make it. So with that being said, I can kind of see, hi darling. All right, are you ready? Yeah, like I said, plan for a 5-minute one. And then if it goes long, if I'm still talking and drawing, all right, fantastic. All right, so also, do not erase. Challenge yourself today. Do not erase. Once again, you cannot learn from a mistake if you do not make it. And what happens when you don't erase? Next time you're like, okay, that leg was way too big. I need to make that leg a little bit smaller. Instead of focusing on that one drawing and you're trying to make it perfect, don't. On the next one, that is in your mental checklist. Let me watch the proportions of the legs. So every time you draw a bad drawing, that is what you do, is you add to the list. Now, typically, there is prioritizing in drawing where you draw with the head first. I'm going to try and do that. I need to work on that too. I still need to grow. All right, darling, you ready? Normally, when you start, with shapes, you know, each arm is a cylinder, you know, the torso is an hourglass, whatever the case may be. Just draw what you see. Forget what you know, draw what you see. Don't worry about, keep the base shapes in mind, but when you're doing a 1-minute pose, do you have time to draw all those shapes and then do the lines in 1 minute? Probably not. This will help you in, actually, from direct drawing to life drawing, and then as far as human figures go, jewelry, architecture, you get fashion design, you guys are going to be drawing humans all the time. You are going to be drawing humans all the time. You don't have to be scared anymore as far as that is concerned. But so with the heads and with short time poses, you don't really want to worry about details, but typically you at least want to get, you know, the shape of the hair, the shape of the head, at least the direction that it is going. And no matter what you do, always be looking at the model as much as possible. A lot of people are like, oh, I like to draw in my own style. Style, as a Drawaholic, we actually get access to exclusive classes and lectures when you become a member. One of the lectures was by Michael, and he described nothing but styles as being different languages in art, different forms of visual communication. So when you say, oh, this is my style and this is how it is, well, you only know one language. How many times has bilingual people just rocked this world because they know multiple languages? That's what we want to be able to do, is we want to be able to draw in different languages. So if you're doing a human figure and just life study, just observing the parts for as they are, don't worry about your style. Just draw what you see, and you will see that you will get better at observing and visually communicating it on paper. But anyway, back to the drawing. Are we good? We're good? Okay. The other thing too is a lot of students will sketch a lot, or they'll be too focused on details. You want a happy medium, a happy in-between that comes with practice. And when you practice not being too detail-oriented and not being too sketchy, you find that you increase your confidence in line to where you can draw a straight line on a paper and not be like, oh my God, no wait, I'm veering off. You actually gain that confidence in line that when you mark the paper, you meant that mark to be exactly the way it was. Can everybody see this okay? We're good? Now, with the Drawaholics and with us being very geared towards human anatomy, you want to catch the essence of the shape, the essence of the line. You don't need to know what the muscle is called in order to observe it and to catch its little nuances. You will learn that in anatomy what they are called. It is awesome to know the anatomy, but if you haven't taken that class yet, don't be scared, because that does not stop you from observing the human body exactly as it is. And for those who are online, if you can't find a live model in your shop, there are fantastic websites to reference from. Croquis Cafe off of YouTube is one of my favorites. And I will provide that information as well to you guys, or you guys can message me and I will send you the link to the Croquis Cafe on YouTube. That is the best. I use that reference base every day, because once again, we have to maintain our habits. So I draw from the Croquis Cafe every day. They do about 20-minute workshops online. And one thing that does help is you can do the structure of the bones and the rib cage underneath, because the goal is, you know, especially when you're in game design and illustration and fashion design and even animation, when you're making characters, how do you abbreviate a word if you don't know how to spell that word? When you do cartoons, when you do quick drawings, when you do concept art, you are abbreviating human anatomy. You want to be comfortable with human anatomy as it actually is before you can start cutting it down and stylizing it. So whatever guidelines help you, avoid them when you're doing quick study. But for the most part, just draw exactly what you see, how you see it, and don't be afraid to make mistakes at all. This is your way of breaking out of the bubble and saying, if I'm going to get better, I need to do something differently. How are you going to get better if you do not do things differently? So with quick sketches, I typically will draw just the shape of the toes, just the shape of the feet. Once again, you don't want to be too wrapped up in detail, especially when you're just starting out. You want to focus on getting the shapes and the lines that communicate the form you're seeing. All right, there is my nervous figure. How long would you say I was actively drawing that? Like about yeah, a little under 5 minutes, if even, you know, while talking and while spieling. And I didn't even get your foot. No, you're good, you're good. I remember it, I saw it, and I didn't draw it. See, once again, making mistakes. We pride on our mistakes. And actually, with that being said, with my figure done, do you guys have any current questions on just being able to capture the essence of the life that you are drawing? At this time? No? Okay. In terms of mistakes, and we have the file online for you guys as well. At any time during the workshop, we actually have a before and after portfolio. Out of currently 200 members, only 15 have actually finished the 2,500. And what we have done, oh, let me pull up a good one. I will put myself on the spot here. When I first started my 2,500 to when I finally finished, these are about the same amount of time. You take between about 5 and 15 minutes each drawing. And it is still a huge difference in just a matter of months of daily practice, daily grinding. Even if I was busy that day, I knew I needed to draw every day, and I made time at the end of the night. At least 30 to an hour is all it takes a day to be able to practice drawing and get better. And now I think we'll leave this up at the front maybe, so that way if you guys want to look in detail to everyone else who has finished, absolutely, we highly recommend it, because it is awesome to see that other people can do it. It's about you want to do this. You are here at this school because you are passionate about what you want to do. And you can see others be passionate and taking action towards their goals. And if you are always, the one that's kind of discouraged, kind of shy, and you want to do this is the perfect opportunity for you to step forward and to take action for yourself in a group that is more than happy to have you. So, to get started on the workshop, we are going to have 2 models. They are going to be set on the same times. Please do not be up in the models' faces. Just avoid being in the interior area. If you guys do want to not work on a draw horse or an easel, that is totally fine. You can stand beside one. Just try to keep a distance for the models. Like I said, we're gonna start with a set of 3s, and then we're gonna break out, see how everyone is doing, see how you can see in just a matter of 10 minutes, you can already make a difference in yourself. And then we're gonna go into the 5s and 10s. Now, if you do not have drawing supplies, or you do not have the drawing supplies that you would prefer, we do have pencils over there. Here at the Drawaholics, we love Prismacolor black pencils because you cannot erase them. And they also look much bolder on paper. But there is charcoal, there's erasers over there if you really, really, really want to defy me. No, I'm kidding. And then pencil sharpeners as well. And then there's all of our business cards. So grab your supplies, grab your easels. If we are short clipboards, I do have additional clipboards, regular paper size. Let me know what you would prefer. Let's go ahead and get set up. That was good. Thank you. All right. Take a short couple-minute break, models. We'll get started very shortly. But for now, guys, take a look at your first drawing. Take a look at your 6th drawing. Just with a little bit of refinement and a little bit of practice, how did you feel about drawing that 6th drawing? How well did you do comparatively to that 6th drawing from the first one? We are going to do a set of 3 5s. I want a volunteer that is going to share their first 5-minute pose and their last 5-minute pose with the other online students that are on the Adobe Connect, so they can see how just a little bit of coaching, having someone there to give you feedback, because we don't have professors over our shoulders every day. But we do have buddies in the Drawaholics where, hey, you're online, can I get your opinion real quick? We are always happy to do that. Who would like to volunteer to share with the online students who could not make it in person? All right. I want you to share with me your experience doing share with everyone the 5-minute poses that you did, and how you changed between the first one, second one, and the third one.
Once I started seeing where all my shapes were, I started making more of a creases like she had suggested to me. So once I learned that I could do more than just the outline and just the basic figure, I could actually make more of it within a short amount of time the more I practiced it. So once I started going on, I started creating the knee creases, I started giving it more of a pelvic shape to the body, I started giving more volume into the arms, into the breast area, and it made it seem more realistic rather than just a sketch as how I started it.
And how does your confidence feel comparatively?
Confidence definitely went up a lot because I started seeing the shapes and started recognizing it was more like muscle memory.
That's exactly what it is.
The confidence definitely came up very quickly.
All right. That is exactly what it is. Every time we practice every day and we practice those little nuances every day, everything in our brain is a muscle. Everything we do, everything we think, everything we say exercises that muscle. Well, we want to be better artists. We want to learn how to draw better. We need to exercise our drawing muscle. And every time you do that, it's as if you're actually going for a walk every day or you're actually lifting weights. So now we have time for one 10-minute pose. And have fun with this one, guys. You accomplished so much in just a few drawings that you guys already did. Have fun with this one. Really put yourself in it. All right, so we do have to kind of wrap this up and make this a little brief. So first of all, thank our models for taking the time out of our day. You guys were fabulous. You guys are always good. You guys are always good. They're regular models with the school, so we may see them more from time to time. So overall, what you should feel is you feel a little bit more comfortable drawing the human body. You feel a little bit more comfortable making a more solid mark on the paper. That is the scariest thing. Oh, it's blank. I don't want to ruin it. We are all creators. We want to make that paper the most unique paper we can make it. It doesn't start until you make the first mark. And sometimes I had to do that when I first started out. I literally made a random line on the paper just to mark it, just to ruin it and say, I'm going to make you better now. And then I got to drawing. You guys should also feel a lot more relaxed because you guys warmed up for a little bit at first. You guys were really nervous, but then as your hands started moving and your brain started working, you got way more relaxed come the 5 and the 10 minutes. And that's really the goal. Now, if you guys are, and we would honestly love to have you, I do not want to say I'm the only online student to finish the 2500 anymore. I want to see more online students in the Drawaholics because I see so much potential in all of my classmates. And it's like you guys can take your growth to the next level. You guys can have these fun classes and lectures and learn about styles being different languages and hear from guest speakers from top companies. You guys can take part in making yourselves the best artists that you can be. And if that is something that you guys want to do, and I hope it is, you guys have the flyers with the information. I will be here throughout the whole event and the after party. Same with Butters and Wiley. You can talk to us at any time. If you are excited and you want to get started right now and you want to sign the contract, so tonight when you go home you start the 2500, I have contracts here that you can sign. I will be happy to give you one. With that being said, thank you guys for your time. Thank you for coming to the expo and letting us give you another experience under your belt. And we are going to move on to the next one. I will hand over the microphone to Melinda. She's walking over to me. I love you.